Now
Okay.
we are recorded.
Perfect. Good afternoon, everybody. Just let me introduce very briefly myself. I'm Gabriele Standardi, researcher at Euro-Mediterranean Center on Climate Change, and I am in charge of this task 1.1 of the Talanoa Water project about the Talanoa Dialogue. So basically today we have to agree on basically the rules about the engagement of the stakeholders and also the structure of the deliverable 1.1. We have already discussed a little bit this structure with Dionisio and Yaro, but of course now we want your feedback about this. I don't know if Dionisio wants to add something about, I mean, the Talanoa dialogue in general, or also Yaro, if you want to do so, you are welcome.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, very briefly, because I mean, I don't want to take much time, and I think we can. It's much better if we follow what you have prepared to get to today strictly and try to provide you the feedback that you need, because this is what we was necessary to deliver a good outcome from this deliverable. But in any case, just a very short reminder. Remember that this project is called Talanoa Water Dialogue, and there is a good reason. What we are trying to do is to implement transformation and adaptation policies that contribute to sustainable and inclusive growth. That's the objective, but the means is the Talanoa Dialogue, which means that what we're going to talk about today, the tool that Gabriele, under the supervision of Jaro, is going to develop for the rules of engagement of the Talanoa Dialogue, is not only very useful, but also compulsory. I mean, we are supposed to use this dialogue, this approach to stakeholder engagement in every single water laboratory. So it's not only about creating a tool, it's about creating a tool with which we feel comfortable because we have to use it. So yeah, this is just to let you know that this is going to be compulsory, I repeat it. And therefore, whatever questions you may have, feedback, or I don't know, disagreement, it's better if we let Gabriele know right now, so that whatever we produce is actionable and can be used after December, when this deliverable is going to be finished. So yeah, just trying to make you engage and participate in the meeting of today. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dionisio, to help me in this introduction. And I don't know if you agree, I can share the structure of the deliverable, so we can immediately collect, I mean, thoughts or feedbacks from your side. So let me share my screen, and then sorry. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen well. So basically, this is the structure of the deliverable we thought about. So first of all, an introduction with basically the forms of bottom-up governance mechanism. Which is mostly basically a part to basically related to the literature review on how we position our approach within the larger range of methods, basically. And then, I mean, the more practical in the more practical steps, we have to decide the scope of the stakeholder boards across the different pilots. So what we expect to deliver and what we expect to achieve. And then, of course, I think the most important part is the terms of reference. So the rule of engagement, because we have to keep our stakeholders engaged through this Talanoa Dialogue, and this process must be inclusive, must be based on trust, mutual trust, transparency, and really we must, as Dionisio said at the beginning, we must follow this approach if we want to be successful in this stakeholders engagement. And of course, so we have to decide what is the frequency of the meetings and also the governance of the meetings and the boards, etc. And also, it would be nice to prepare and to come out with a brief decalogue to successfully guide the stakeholder engagement through all this the Talanoa Dialogue. And then we have to think also about the letter of commitments, because I mean, in principle, the deliverable is due by the end of the year. So we need this letter of commitments. I have already prepared a template. I can send you, I mean, after the meeting. So we should know how the stakeholders who are going to participate. If we think also, if you have additional institution, organization, in addition to those we have already put in our list, we have prepared. And then, of course, an outlook for the next 12 months, what we are going to do, basically. Because, of course, this process is a of engagement will take place over all the 4 years of the project. So it's a continuous and long process. So this is more or less what the structure of the deliverable. I don't know if you have any, I mean, burning questions or reactions on this. If you have, I mean, feedbacks, please ask now so we can immediately start the interaction. I mean, otherwise, maybe we can start. I don't know if you agree with a round where every partner basically says what is the situation right now for every laboratory, what is the situation about the stakeholder engagement, if you all agree. I mean, we can start from, who wants to start?
I can start.
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Gabriella. Thank you, Diony. Just to introduce myself, my name is Jaron Miziak, and I'm working as Gabriella in Euro-Mediterranean Center on Climate Change. We have 2 different divisions involved in this project. I'm leading the division on risk assessment and adaptation strategies, and Gabriella is from the division on economic impact. I think this deliverable is setting the ground for the whole project in terms of how we are going to engage with the stakeholder, what are the terms of references that we are suggesting for the different laboratories to operate under. And the idea is not to have something like very rigid scheme that everybody has to follow. I think the scheme should be flexible enough to accommodate the specific circumstances and the cultural conditions in your laboratories and so on. But at the same time, we need to have a common roadmap and common conditions, common principles, visions, and way of operating and way of engaging the stakeholders. Now, this project has a big potential to contribute and position itself significantly in the wider research and innovation schemes. You might know that there are interesting opportunities coming from Horizon Europe, and especially the research and mission-oriented research and innovation, which is a sub-program of Horizon Europe. And all the countries involved in Talanoa Water are eligible to to receive funding from this. But the precondition of this is that the stakeholders dialogues are initiated at a local scale. There is a certain pathway that is very similar to that we envisage for Talanoa. And so it might be, when you look at the work program of the Talanoa, it might be a precursor or preliminary work that might be further upscaled in a more ambitious journey under the mission. So there are good opportunities, but we really need to keep an eye on having a common methods and common principle that we follow in the different laboratories, but at the same time, maintaining the flexibility. So this deliverable is, in my view, in my understanding, has two different roles. The first one is to reach out to our partners from policy and societal groups and explain those are the terms of references that we are happy to commit together with you to in following in this project. So it's something structured where the partners we will be working with in the different laboratories might see and might, okay, so those principles should be open, inclusive, and sensitive to the capabilities of our partners. So this is just from our side, the commitment to work very closely with the societal partners. The second role of this deliverable should be that we guarantee a minimum comparability and minimum alignment of the methods across the different laboratories. So this is from our side, that we know how we are programming the work, how we are organizing the meetings, and how we get back to the societal partners afterwards and everything, so that we can say that the outcomes of this discussion are comparable across our laboratories. So this is extremely important. So on the one hand is our offer to the societal partners. This is the way how we imagine it. And the second part is that we have internal in this project set of methods and procedures that make it possible or conducive to making the result from the laboratories comparable. So those are basically the objectives of this deliverable. Of course, the deliverable might be changed, might be revised. We can also compile this deliverable now and use it. And we can also commit to revise this deliverable in 1 year and see whether everything has worked and whether something needs to be adapted to the current circumstances and so on. But as the starting point, we might lay down the way that we envisage to work in the laboratories. So sorry, Gabriela, I did not answer your question. I was just trying to stimulate the discussion about what we expect from this deliverable and how it what is the role in this project.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if someone else wants to add something or react about what Yaro already just said. What do you think? Do you think with this it's important to have a common principles? Where it's possible, of course, but a common principle methodologies to compare a little bit the common rules across the different pilots for the stakeholders engagement. So, for example, one another aspect is that in the proposal, basically every laboratory should decide a leader among the and a rapporteur among the stakeholders. So I don't know if you have already something in mind about the possible organizations and names who can take, this role for rapporteur and leaders of the stakeholders engagement.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If I may, Gabriela, just to answer your question for the Spanish case, and also to give a very brief comment about what just Jaro said. So Jaro was absolutely right in everything he said, and this is very instrumental. I mean, having a strong stakeholder engagement and a stakeholder engagement also that is leading to comply with the objectives of the project is obviously very much necessary, but also it's mandatory. Also, in order to do this, we have defined some steps in the proposal, which you have all read and you know very well. But well, basically, two key steps are the definition of the rapporteur and the leader. The leader, by default, is the PI of the institution that is located in the area, in the same area where the case study is located. So, I mean, unless you say otherwise, the PIs are Jaro for the Italian case, Abdo for the Egyptian case, Nina for the French case, Isam, who's not here, I'm afraid, for the Tunisian case, and then we have Hari for the Lebanese case. If this is going to change, you have to notify Gabriel. This is the first important point. The second important point is that you also need to come up with a rapporteur, and the rapporteur is going to be a leader and rapporteur. The rapporteur and leader is going to be, well, has to be one of the stakeholders. So it cannot be one of your team. It cannot be a member of your team. So you need to, in order to have a rapporteur, obviously you need to start from now to define the stakeholder network. And when you have defined the stakeholder network, then you need to decide who among these stakeholders is going to be more committed and who also is more relevant to guiding the Talanoa Dialogue, because obviously you may find that one stakeholder is very much committed, but it's not relevant to have a successful Talanoa Dialogue, because maybe it's a stakeholder of tangential importance to having a successful Talanoa Dialogue. So in that case, he or she couldn't be the rapporteur. Ideally, the rapporteur could be, for example, I don't know, a member of the River Basin Authority with some power within that authority. For example, in our case, it's the leader of the planning office, of the Water Resource Planning Office, which is the office managing water allocation. That's going to be our rapporteur in the case of the Spanish water law. We also have defined very well what's the stakeholder network, because we contact all of them before we submitted the proposal. So that part we have already done it. But in some other cases, I know that we couldn't contact all the stakeholders. Some others didn't provide a reply. So now is the time for you to contact them, because remember that we need to define a rapporteur. Obviously, as Jaro said, this is preliminary, and we are going to review this along the project. We have the periodic reports, intermediate project report, final project report, and this is going to be amended if needed. But ideally, you should start developing this from now. So one quick question we may all try to answer in order to help Gabriele drive this task successfully is try to inform him, at what point we are right now in terms of developing the stakeholder network. Who's the rapporteur, if you have any change in the scientific leader, and perhaps how do you perceive that this approach is going to be received among the stakeholders? I already said what we have here for the Spanish case, but perhaps we can have a round in which, I don't know, Nina or Ring, Roya, I don't know who wants to step in from the Lebanese case, and Abdo provide some feedback on what they have been facing thus far, at what stage they are in terms of stakeholder development. And this will help us also to continue working on this deliverable.
Hello. I can go ahead.
Oh. Yeah, Abdo, we hear you. Or Nina, we hear you both.
Okay, okay, go ahead, Nina.
Okay, so I go. So in France, we took several months to confirm our local case study, because I don't know if you recall, but in the proposal, we were still a bit too wide in terms of on which basin we will focus. So we had a first series of interviews with regional stakeholders. And so we decided to go down to the Aude River Basin. So I took contact with people there, and in particular the how do you say, the River Basin Authority, So they are happy that we are having this project with them on this case study. So now I am in the process of contacting more and more people in this river basin. So both trying to have new names and at the same time contacting them to present them the project. And what I wanted to do is, I think as it is foreseen in Talanoa, to have a first at least webinar with all the people in the river basin. And on theory, it will be okay to have the person in charge of the river basin management plan. Well, it's a management plan that is really dedicated to quantitative water management. He is in theory okay to be our rapporteur. So the contact was really great, and so now he's helping me out to find all the stakeholders plus other colleagues to have a good variety of stakeholders that represent the farming. Well, in our case, we will concentrate really largely on water used by farming. So the idea is to have a maximum variety on the types of stakeholders we invite. And there is a wide variety because to make it short, there is like the mainstream wine production, which are really well presented also in the political spheres, and more minorities, let's say communities and people or institutions that are trying to organize and accelerate the transition that is not necessarily focused on water management, but more on, let's say, ecological transition. So the idea is really to have the two types of stakeholders, which many more than two, but yeah, I think here we are more or less. And the larger stakeholders, so the ones that are looking at our large river basin, in France, we have 5 big river basins. So the one that we are confirmed is Rhône Méditerranée water agencies. They are also interested to follow what we are doing, even though it's on the smaller territory.
Okay, thank you very much to update. And I don't know, Abdrabbo, you want to follow up on this?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. In the Egyptian lab, we have certain activities to accomplish. We have 4 points to investigate, or 4 strategies to investigate for solving for adapting to climate change and to alleviate water scarcity problem in the country. We in the proposal we established 4 points. First with investigating is high soil tolerant crops, water accounting strategy, using cell phone and smart irrigation for managing water, in addition to modifying is filling policy of the Ethiopian dam, and this will not be allowed because it is we have a policy restriction so far, so we can work only on the first in the 3 topics. We already have a board of stakeholders consisted of 4 organizations. One of them is NGO, and the second one is research, governmental research institute, and the third one is public directorate, agricultural directorate in the most hot spot of the Nile Delta. water scarcity. GPI is the fourth organization, and it representing the private sector. We informally we discussed together the proposed strategies proposed in the
Sorry, I don't hear very well. I don't know if even the others, well, they hear well because.
No, it is still working.
the proposal, and we said. No.
Sorry.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Hello?
now much better. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, the internet connection is sometimes is bad. Okay, we decided together. To start with examining some salt tolerant crops like wheat varieties. We have new varieties. We got the seeds from National Research Center, National Agricultural Research Center. This is new variety. We examined it. We started to examine it. We have already field experiment in different locations of the country. Also, we started. We already started, and they have something on the ground. The representative representing the National Agricultural Research Center will be the team leader of the stakeholders board, and myself will be the rapporteur of the board. So this is our right now, and if you have any question or clarification, I am ready to answer any question. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Abdrabbo. The audio was not so good, but anyway, I think it can be useful, as Dionisio suggested, if every, representative from the 6th laboratory then can send me, basically a summary about the actual state of the stakeholder engagement. So what are these stakeholders, and also the possible name about rapporteur, and yes, and yeah, I think it can be useful. Then I can collect everything and have a better idea about where we are. I don't know, Diony, do you agree with this?
Yeah, I think this is very. I think that's necessary. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I can also, because I have prepared basically format for the a template for the letter of commitment, where there is basically the name of the organization. Maybe I can send them, or I can send you this letter of commitment template, so you can also organize the information. You can provide the information according to this template. Maybe it can be useful for you. I can send you this template after the meeting.
Excellent.
Okay. Yeah, and then anyone else wants to, say something about, I don't know if there are representatives from Liban or I don't know.
We don't have anyone from Tunisia, but we have Rim and Roja. I think they are from Hari's lab. I don't know if you have, Rim, Roja, any updates on the stakeholder engagement in the Lebanese water lab.
Hello, it's Liam.
Hi,
Can you hear me? Hi,
yeah.
hi everyone. Yeah, so we're basically we're in the process of contacting the head of the Litani River Authority, Dr. Sami Alawiye, who's actually yani he's very knowledgeable of the local situation, and he has experience in public governmental sector and the private sector. So basically, we're starting from there, and I think it's a good idea to follow up with a as Gabrielle suggested, with a brief summary on the status of the stakeholder engagement for each lab. I think this will be useful to put everything together. And I was wondering if you need this, Gabrielle, like by when is there like a time period to submit this?
For the deliverable, it's the
No,
end.
not the deliverable. The I thought you're asking each lab for a.
Okay, yeah, no,
Yeah.
but, I think I don't know. The only 1 week, the three, one. I don't.
Yeah, it's the deliverable. The deadline is by the end of December. So
Okay.
yeah, I guess 1-2 weeks maximum, because otherwise, I guess Gabriele wants to finish this before Christmas. So yeah.
Hopefully, if you. No,
So
All
yeah.
right. Okay, thank you. We'll try our best.
No, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
If I may, very quickly, I would suggest that the quick update might be done until Friday this week. I mean, it simply summarizes where you stand. It doesn't have to be the final contribution to the deliverable. But in order to have a good understanding, what is the background, what is the current process, I would suggest that the brief update is sent by Friday this week.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's very sensible.
I mean, I know that maybe, yes, unfortunately, the deliverable, I mean, is due, I mean, we have to speed up a little bit, but of course, I mean, I understand also the circumstances that maybe cannot be so easy. But yeah, if you are able to provide me with this information, even, I mean, by the end of the week, or it's okay. I mean,
yeah, I mean, with I mean, it's just a report of the status of the different water labs.
yes,
so, I mean, there's
yes.
no need to speed
Additional
up everything.
Work.
Yeah, and to do additional work by Friday. It's just that we need to know what you just said. So you have been contacting the Litani River Basin Authority. If you know by Friday whether they will be available to be the rapporteur, that would be great. Otherwise, we can say, okay, there's no rapporteur yet for the Lebanon, and that's justifiable because, well, that was mentioned. I mean, the complex situation of the area was mentioned in the proposal, and the PRIMA knows. So we can say, well, it has been a slower process in some water labs. It's fine. We explained that, and then we saw what we have already, and we updated later on. We have 4 years, so it's fine. Oops, there's some background noise there.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe, okay. So, you want to add something about this? Otherwise, I don't know, maybe we can discuss about the possible rules for the for the meetings. I mean, common rules for the stakeholder meetings. For the also, we were thinking about possible decalogue so with very I mean, simple rules to be followed to guarantee a successful stakeholder engagements. If you have some idea also about this, I mean, this decalogue, like a list of principles that can be useful to guide the stakeholders' engagement, to keep them, I mean, involved. Or also you have even more simpler if you have ideas about the frequency of meetings, because I mean in the proposal of the project, we are supposed to do this. Every laboratory must do one meeting, one policy science meeting every year. So basically, we have 6 laboratories for 4 years, and so overall we should do 24 science policy meetings, where of course every pilot must involve local stakeholders, so and must take care about the local stakeholder. And then there will be 2 international stakeholder meetings, where I think every, all the stakeholders will be involved in some ways. You have some ideas about, common rules for this kind of meetings, for all the involvement regarding these meetings? I don't know if you have some feedback on this.
But very quickly, Gabriele, so there are some things that we have written in the proposal. So just to make clear that, there will be, the engagement will happen mainly through 4 workshops in a space study area. We are supposed to implement in some of these workshops, not all of them, serious games. So that's already, that's something we have to do, or at least we have committed ourselves to do. And then, of course, there's some room for additional engagement in the context of bilateral meetings, informal meetings, or perhaps some other additional meetings that each water lab wants to implement. So if a given water lab wants to have 6 meetings instead of 4, that's fine. The resources are for 4 workshops, but maybe you can have 6 workshops with less people. I don't know. So that's also possible, but at least we need to have 4 to have serious games in. I think it was 2 or 3 of them. I don't recall very well. So this is needed. And then obviously the other thing that is necessary is that we follow the Talanoa Dialogue, which is going to be, this is still a very abstract concept, which Gabriele, CNCC's team is going to flesh out a little bit more with the Decalogue, but it's still, it's very abstract. It's inclusive, towards consensus building. You need to have a dialogue that is, you cannot blame anyone in the dialogue. You are supposed to be constructive, etc., etc. But then the rules will be mostly provided by the deliverables that you're going to produce, Gabriel, when you create this Decalogue, and that's what we are supposed to follow.
Okay. So yeah, because as you say, many things are already in the proposal, and of course, then the laboratory are, quite free and flexible in deciding. Of course, respecting what we have written in the proposal, but then they can manage the relationship with the stakeholders in a flexible way. Of course, this is good. And then, yes, as you mentioned, there will be these 3 games where stakeholders can play in this serious game. I think in all the annual workshop except one, maybe except the first one. So okay, thank you, Dionisio, for the feedback. So now. What other things we should decide right now. If you want, I don't know, I have prepared a template, but very, just very quickly. I don't know, I can share the template of the letter of commitment if you want, if you agree, just if you to see if you are okay with this. For example, let me share the screen. And so this maybe can be useful also to organize your the information and the update about the state of stakeholder engagements. You should provide by the end of the week. So this is basically just very, template for where basically this should be the representative for every organization, the stakeholder who is gonna to to be the representative for every organization. And then in this table, we can provide information about the stakeholder. So the name of the organization, the type of organization, public, private, the country and location, organization website, and then maybe we can provide the primary contact name with the contact role, the email, phone, and then a secondary contact name. And also the description of organization and activities for that specific stakeholder. I think that this is more or less the letter of commitment. So you see, it's a very simple thing. And I was thinking to send you this template just after the meeting. I don't know if you have if you are okay with this. Let me know. Is it okay for you?
I'm perfectly fine.
I have a question. I don't recall, was that in the proposal that we assume to have this letter of engagement? Because I suppose for some it might be a bit difficult to. It's always there's a difference between the institution and the individual, but I imagine for public institutions like the local government, if I reach that, if I obtain that one person participate to the group and to the whole process, I know that to have a signed paper that by the director of the local government is another story. So I think for some stakeholders to have a written letter with this engagement to participate to the project might be a bit harder to obtain. And
okay.
For me, it's different than just saying I'm supporting like our engagement letters that we had for the response for the proposal. Here I already think that it will be difficult, and I had not this in mind.
Okay, I don't know, maybe, no, I was thinking about this letter of commitment because basically we talking with Yaro, we thought that maybe it could be useful, but if this is too complicated, especially to, as you say, to get, I don't know, the signature from, I don't know, director of public institutions and so on and so forth, maybe we can avoid this. The only what do you think?
I mean, it's good to have the commitment letters of those that we can obtain. But
yeah,
if you have any problem, we skip it. I mean, if it's going to be a problem at all to have them engaged, or maybe you feel that they may say no, then we back down. We are not going to do that. Then we do not need even to ask them. I mean, it's really up to you. You know, if you think, okay. I mean, if you're going to engage a private individual who's the president of, I don't know, an institution, then I think it's easy to get the commitment letter. But if it's a president of a public authority and there's a lot of bureaucracy involved, then we simplify it. I mean, the letter of commitment is just a proof that we have, it's a sort of proof that is useful in terms of justification to show Prima that we have established the stakeholder networks. But if it means any barrier towards the Talanoa Dialogue, then we forget about it.
Okay.
And we have other proofs. I mean, we have the stakeholder meeting and we record it.
Yeah, with the names that attend.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the signatures or whatever we decide. So it's enough.
Okay.
Okay. So yes, thank you. I agree completely. And I don't know any other.
Yeah, one very quick thing regarding this, Gabriele. Remember that we have. I mean, if you don't know, I let you know. We already have some commitment letters available because some commitment letters were signed for the proposal and they are available online. So maybe Hector can share with you the folder when this is available, so that you can download it from them. Because, for example, in our case, we have all the letters of commitment since the first submission of the proposal. So, I mean,
okay, yes, thank you very much. It would be very useful for me, so I can download all and just use them in the deliverable.
Yeah, and also for the French case, Nina also sent us some commitment letters, the same for the Italian case, for the Egyptian case, for the Tunisian case. In Lebanon, there was, I mean, at the time we were writing the proposal, we had some policy issues going on there, so we don't have any, but I mean, we have time to get them.
So if I may, these letters, the only are for the new stakeholders, those that we want to involve beyond those that already signed the support letter, which more or less was fulfilled with the same information on what are we going to do and so on.
Exactly.
Just, new ones. Okay.
Yeah, in your case, I think you already have many, so yeah, no need to ask them again.
Exactly, for the same reason that Nina was pointing out, because there's bureaucracy and okay.
Yeah, we want to avoid that as much as possible.
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, I can I can send you the template anyway, but then it's up to you to follow or not, or I mean, what is inside. I mean, and then other points. I don't know if someone wants to. So the next step is to have this state of the art about the stakeholders engagement. And then as next, and once we have completed this, I can start with the draft of the deliverable, and maybe I can send you, I mean, a first version of the deliverable, let's say in 2 weeks, 2 weeks and a half, Diony. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, when you feel comfortable, that's really up to you. Really.
No, okay. Yes, then of course, yes, I have to. Yeah, let's see. Let's do this first step first of all, and then let's come up with this first draft.
Yeah, I think if you want to have some comments, maybe yeah, in maximum 20 days from
Yeah,
now.
because
at least it's for the European partners.
Yes, but then I mean we can because we can postpone, like if we deliver if the deliverables if we finish the deliverable, I don't know, the first week of January, this is a problem, or what do you think? I don't want to find immediately excuse, but no, I understand that this is also the Christmas time, so maybe it can be. But for now,
I mean, if we, I don't know if we come a little bit later. I mean, you can ask Diaro. I mean, Diaro knows much better. Well, I mean, what happens if you
okay,
you deliver a bit later? So he has much more experience on this. He can let you know if that's feasible. I guess it is. We have been, I mean, very sharp with all the other deliverables, so I think they will be very understanding.
Okay. No, but let's try for the for the date before Christmas. I think this is the best option for everybody.
Ask Diaro, I think he can let you know. I mean, if he says it's fine, it's fine. We submit it 1 week later. I think no one will take a look at it at Prima before 7, 8 January. I mean, 15 January. So.
Okay, thank you.
I think it should be okay.
Okay. So I don't know. Any other feedback? Any other comment, suggestion? Because I mean, we plan to have this meeting. I mean, 1 hour and a half. But if we have no other things to, I mean, to say, I don't know. Maybe we can close even in 1 hour. I mean, in 10 minutes.
No, I think it's fine. If there are no more comments, no need to keep it any longer. I mean, I think that everyone knows already what's needed and what we have to send you as inputs. But if you have any other, I mean, this is a very important deliverable. So, for example, we have already delivered 3 deliverables to Prima. and there was no need for any meeting because these deliverables were, well, I mean, data management plan. They are relevant, but this one is critical for the project. So if you have any question or any need for inputs, whatever, just feel free to contact the partner or the partners. Yeah, I mean, we have to be very responsive because deadline is very close, and this is a very important output. So for whatever other issue or question that you may have, just email us.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
So I think we can close here.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for your
Thank
participation, and let's keep update, and thank you very much again.
Thank you, Gabriele. Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Everybody.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.